Hmm. What's happening?
Is that
That's
it?
all I got. What's
Okay.
happening?
Um, not much. Just watching uh Titans suck, and that was a tough one. Well, okay. Let me take a step back. I think it was probably tougher on you than me, and you might say, "Why do you say that?" When we lost to the Steelers, I remember as we was getting in our car leaving the stadium, I was like, "Well, that's it for the season." So now all it is about is seeing what we have and the young players and stuff like that. So, like, for me, I mean, you can't say our season's even more dead. It to me was dead, but I think for you, you say the season's basically shot, right?
I now subscribe to your negative way of thinking that our season is shut.
Yeah,
Um,
especially our division's looking good now. Jags didn't, but they're still 6-3.
right, the
Oh,
middle of it's looking better than we thought. But here's the thing, and why I didn't think it was dead after the Steelers. Jags are going against a first place schedule, and they lost today. If we had won, we were sitting at was it 4-5? Sitting at 4-5, about to go against the Jags, which is a division game. Which technically, if we want to catch the Jags, facing them is the best thing to do. We had somehow beat them, gotten 5-5, and then having the Panthers on the other end of that, probably the worst team in the NFL, 6-5. I'm liking where we're sitting, but when we lost that game, I don't think the Bucs are good. I do not think the
well, they're
Bucs are
three
good.
and five, so yeah.
Yeah, they're 3-5, but they start off like 2-0 or something, maybe even 3-0.
Yep.
They start off like looking a lot better then they just started losing. So I wasn't sold on them at all. But when we lost to them, and we'll probably lose Jags, I'm pretty sure it's an away game because we can't win if we're not in Nashville apparently.
You know,
So you do those two things, then that suddenly has us sitting at 3-8. We play against the Panthers after that, but then if we win, then we're 4-8. But what's 4-8?
yeah.
At that point, you have to win out to even get a winning record. And with the whole AFC North being the way it is, 9-8 might not get us into the playoffs. And plus, if we can't even win against bad teams, what makes us think we're going on any kind of a run?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's because that's the thing. The Buccaneers was a bad, struggling team, just like we was, and they won. So we are looking like we can't even beat bad teams, which means we are not good. But what I think was the most painful thing today was not that we lost, because again, I think we're not that good. But what's my objective now? What I'm looking for now is to see what Will Levis looks like. That's the number one thing. And one, the offline sucked. That's an understatement. It was so bad. Like, NFL offline should not be that bad. So you got to put that in account. But Will Levis has too many footballs hitting off defenders' hands. Like, and he was lucky this week and last week. The Steelers game and this game. Like, people, for some reason, can't catch his balls. But he could easily have 3 picks last week and this week. That could be like 6 picks.
I'm kind of agreeing with you. He has only 2 interceptions, but at this point, he's had like 5 drop interceptions. I don't mean like drop where someone like tips it. I mean like
Yeah.
drop where people are like
Yes.
dropping it. And I would agree with you. The 2 things that frustrate me most about this loss, 3 things. The number one, which is by far the biggest, is in my opinion, that's kind of a knife to any hope of a postseason.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, our offensive line is so bad we literally cannot run or pass. Like we can't do either. And when you can't pass, we can't see if Will Levis is worth
Yeah.
anything. We can't
Yes.
see if Chig or Josh Wiley is worth anything. We can't get any type of an idea on our roster and what we have and what our actual true needs are going forward if all he does is snap the ball and either throw way before he's ready to throw or get sacked. Like it's ridiculous. But then the third thing is something we talked about obviously right after the game is the fact that Will Levis has been on a decline in my opinion. He looked you can't even argue it. He was borderline elite. In fact, you could even say elite in his first game. No turnovers, 4 touchdowns, scored 28 points. It was amazing. He was just chucking the ball all over the place. All right, 28 points. Next game, back down to earth a little bit. I think he was solid. He could move the ball, but we had red zone troubles, which has been an issue this whole season. 16 points. That's 12 less points. And then today, 6 points. Less than 50% completions. No touchdowns. Another turnover. it's been a decline.
It has
I
been a
think the
decline.
offensive line's not even give him a chance hardly, but at the same time, it shows that he will need, at least for his rookie season, he needs somebody around him. He's not going to be able to do it all himself. Which I guess technically that's the case with any quarterback. Because ask Mr. Patrick Mahomes this year, he's struggling doing anything because he don't have any pass catchers apart from Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree. He's been just getting worse each week. And this is the first week, though, that I'm like, okay, you was bad. I think Steelers, we lost. We only scored 16 points, but he made some big throws on third downs. He made some good plays that I was impressed enough good there that I actually felt fine with him after that week. Like, that was the week that we lost.
Yeah,
like,
so did I.
We might still have something with Will Levis. And I'm not saying we don't. I'm not saying we've thrown in the towel yet. But today he looked a little just not good. He had a couple good throws, but he had a lot just too high.
I think he had only one or two passing attempts with 20 or more air yards. I think one of the ones that Kyle Phillips was like 27 yards where he caught it and slid the feet. I think he had that. No, like he has a 22 catches for 21 for Chris Moore, so he didn't have anything over 20 yards. Chiaconquo and Hopkins were both 3 receptions, 27 yards. So obviously none of those were over 20 yards. So besides maybe a pass or two to Kyle Phillips, who had 3 catches, 61 yards, he's coming into his own. Of course, one of those was a screen, but I don't know. It's like he just wasn't able to push the ball like he did.
I mean, though I would say if you want to go deep, you want to be able to protect him for a half second. Because some of the and here's one thing though, in Atlanta, when he looked so good, he did so many play actions. But he literally could not do a play action today because once he faked the handoff and turned around, there would always be someone in his face.
Yeah. I mean,
that was
I agree.
Pathetic, all around.
And not just that, he was taking some hard hits because not only these people like breaking through, they're like breaking through so early that they get a run before they can actually hit the quarterback. It's not like they're like barely pushing through an O-line and grabbing and falling down with him. They're like getting away and then just zipping in and just decking him.
He got hit almost every drop back, I feel like. That he's gonna be hurting tomorrow, that's for sure. But I'm not throwing in the towel for him because one, it's 3 weeks, so that's too early to do that anyway. But we gotta fix this offensive line, and I always say this: with this offensive line, we could easily go back to Ryan Tannehill, not because we want to, because Will Levis is gonna be hurt sometime before the season's over. Because this offensive line is so bad. It is. Is it worse than last year? And last year, I was like, I didn't think it could get any worse. This thing is bad.
Sadly, it could be worse than last year. It really could be.
That's pathetic.
I agree.
Bronco being out doesn't help, but can one guard make that big of a difference? No. Dillard got hurt, and that's not a bad thing, I guess. But it's not like we got much better when we put his replacement.
Yeah, honestly, we didn't get any better, really.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, I guess our one touchdown drive that should have been a touchdown drive, I guess I should say, was delayed because remember, the guy just ran right around Dillard like he was nothing.
Yeah.
Got the sack. Well, that was Vitavea, I believe, which obviously he's good, but still. But
this offensive line is so bad, like you said. It's just you can't really look at any players and see what you got. You can't, and that is so frustrating because that's almost what we are now. Is that wins and losses almost don't matter to me. It's like, okay, is Chig the number 1 tight end? We need to see that. And because going into the season, I said for sure, but now he can't catch at all.
I don't know why. He has at least one drop in every single game.
And he tried to have 2 this week. Is Kyle Phillips a good player? Is Tajay Spears, which I would say he does the decent with some space. So I like Spears. He's done better than I thought he would. But all the stuff, as
a pass catcher.
You don't like him running? I liked him. Every week he's better than Henry running, in my opinion. That's my humble opinion.
I think he just gets more favorable matchups because every single time Tajay Spears is in, they're like, okay, so it's a pass play. So sometimes he'll be able to catch him off guard with a nice big old hole.
Henry's got to break some tackles. He don't break enough tackles this year. Now, that's been something he's really good at, except for this year. He can't break anything. That's my problem with him. The Spears may not break tackles if he gets grabbed, but he can juke people and move, do that. I mean,
they both had less than a 4-yard average.
Yeah, they both wasn't good, but Henry was like 1.7 or something. Last I checked, I don't know what it ended up being.
He I think 2.4 is what he ended with. 2.2 and then 3.6 from Tajay. Neither of them's good enough. But just like that one play, they gave it to Henry. Literally, as soon as he touched the football, there was not just one, not 2, but 3 people right in his face. And I'm just like, How can you be that bad at offense?
Part of me is
Like,
frustrated with Kelly and like, okay, he's not doing well. But I will say, what do you call with an offensive line this bad? You can't run it. You can't say let's just run it because Henry gets
yeah,
hit
he's getting hit.
two,
He's
three
getting hit in the
yards behind
back.
the field. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting. It's not only now is he not getting to the line. He's not, or not only is he getting just to the line and stopping, but now he's not getting to the line. So
Yeah.
run plays, not only are they give up plays, but they're instead of being first 10, let's go second and 12. That sounds like a good idea.
And then throwing the ball, you just know Will Levis, he can't keep getting hit like this. You know, what I mean, he's getting hit every single dropback. So, and now he's really trying to throw more picks. Again, he only has 2, which is not bad for a rookie, but he has a lot hit off hand. So, anyway, I don't know what Kelly can do with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want some playmakers in the receiving room, but I would say off the line has to be a number 1 fix. And I hate that because Peter Skronsky was not a very flashy pick, and it was not much to talk about. But we need to go off the line again.
Yeah, now he's just the best player on our worst position.
Which, when I get some PFF values like that, because I gotta admit, I haven't watching them every snap or nothing. So who knows? Peter Skronsky could be part of the problem too. I can't say for sure. I'm hoping not, but I need to see what PFF says about that. Let's go talk about defensive a little bit. I feel like this is another week where I was annoyed with our defense. Like I felt like we did bad, but we only allowed 20 points. Right? Yeah. 20 is not bad. 20 is winnable. You should be able to win that. But something about the way we play our defense, I think that they get so many yards against us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bad tackling, but I'm always frustrated with the defense at the end of the game, even if we don't allow a lot of points.
Yeah, I agree. Our defense just allows not many points, but we allow a lot of yards and a lot of ate-up clock time. I apologize. One of my children were acting up, and I had to address the situation. But I'm back. We were talking about our defense. We were talking about defense. Yeah, it's 2 weeks in a row where we allowed 20 points. It was 20 with the Steelers, right?
16-20 we lost.
Yeah. So 2 weeks in a row we only allowed 20 points, but we allowed too much clock to be ate up.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think our biggest issue is we must not be a good third down defense because teams that when they score on us, they eat 7 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean? So we just feel like we can't stop them. They just go down the field slowly. And maybe that's why they don't score many points, just because they milk the clock out.
Yeah, that could be it. But defense, it's passable. It's passable. Because, again, 20 points in a row, 2 weeks in a row, we should win those games, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
If you allow 20 points. Because, if a team scores 23 points, I don't think that's good. But if we would have scored 23 points the last 2 weeks, we would have won the last 2 weeks.
Yes, I agree. I say, though, one thing, though, I just got to say is our pass rush gets paid too much money to generate so little pass.
Yeah. Rush. Now, obviously, we're going to have a lot of off-season conversations. Because once the season's over, it's going to be, we're going to have a lot of videos to talk. But something that we said off air, and of course, I agree with it because I said it. But something I agree with that we said is I feel like the longer the season goes, the more holes we actually have.
Yeah, I know.
Originally, I was thinking, all right, we need wide receivers and O-line. That's what we need. But as the season's going on, and corners, I would probably put corners in there too. But as the season's going on, I'm like, all right, not only do we need O-linemen, but honestly, if we got everybody new except for Skronsky and Brunskill, honestly, I'd be fine. So 3 places on the O-line. Hopefully not, but possibly quarterback. But if Derrick Henry, if we let him walk, which we probably will, we're going to need at least another running back. I don't think Tajay Spears is going to be a number 1 guy, to bell cow guy. And then, of course, obviously the wide receivers. Tight ends. I'm not sold on Chig. He drops too much. He gets open, apparently. We throw to him all the time, and he's averaging in the 20s or 30s every single week of yard-wise, but he can't hang on to the football. So it's possible we need 2 tight ends. At least 1, possibly 2. Switch over to defense. Danico Autry is going to be gone. So I already said we need corners. Byard's gone, so we need a safety. Jack Gibbons will be gone unless we re-sign him. Al Shire will be gone unless we re-sign him.
I say we need to sign one of those 2 back. You don't have to do both.
I think we still have rights over Gibby, Dr. Gibby, I believe. I think we could. What was that?
I would rather keep the other one if I had it stay in the mouth.
I agree. But I think technically, if we want to, we don't have to let Gibby get to
about it
free agency.
while you're looking that up, I'll say, and there's nothing to do about it. We're going, you have to pay him his money, but I'm disappointed in Jeffrey Simmons. This year has not been that good for him.
His problem is he's boom or bust. He's either going to get you 2, or even that one season where he had 2 different games where he had 3 sacks. Actually, may have had 3 games where he had 3 sacks because one of them was against the Bengals in the playoffs. But yeah, he'll have those games, and then he'll have games where it's like you don't quite ever see him. But I also will say I don't think Big Jeff is the problem. I don't think he's helping as much as he should, but he's not the problem. I think Arden Key is a rotational player and shouldn't be a full-time edge rusher like he is. I also think Landry, he needs to start showing something. Because like I said, I was giving him till halfway point in the season before he should be fully recovered from his ACL. But at this point, we are halfway through the season.
He did get a sack.
He did get a sack.
But the game just felt over at that time. It felt like an empty sack. And I will also say, what our defense needs to do, because if you look, we got a couple sacks today, but it's consistent pass rush. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you get 2 or 3 sacks, but then all the other plays, the quarterback is to stand back as long as they want. Then that's not a good pass rush. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, there's too many times that Baker Mayfield stood there as long as he wanted before he found Mike Evans most time, but somebody open. You know what I mean? And that's just not good enough. Because that secondary is not that good. So they're gonna get someone's gonna get open on them.
Also, you're talking about more holes. Actually, I was talking about more holes. If you're talking about more holes, Bunting is our best corner. He is only a 1-year deal.
Yeah. The problem is that never when we signed him, you telling me that he gets hurt a lot, and well, he's hurt right now, so there's that. So
Fulton is this, and this is Fulton's last year too, right? Mm-hmm. So Fulton both our starting cornerbacks are gone.
Yeah. Because this is Fulton's deal to make him, prove it, and he has not done well.
So yeah, honestly, that might be the worst thing about this season is just the disappointment of the fact that not only are we not going to do squat, like we're not making any kind of not just a Super Bowl run, but not even making a playoff run at this point, but now we have more holes than we do anything else.
Yeah. My humble opinion, because at the end of the day, well, I was about to say that I knows how flawed it is. I'll say our defense is not allowing that many points, even though it could be better. I say we just need to address the offense because this offense is awful. Get offensive linemen, get some receivers, and then hope the defense can do decent. I say that, but the problem about the defense is you can't actually just keep it the way it was because, like you said, we have too many people that this is the last year, so we have to make a decision if we want to sign them or not. You know what I mean? That's an issue.
Yeah.
But Fulton, I say walk. I say maybe sign Bunting Jr.
He's not a junior.
I thought he was a junior, was he? No, I don't know. I said junior. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. Bunting, sign him. Alshire, he's good, I think. But then he makes some flaws, too. That's the problem.
Yeah, Bunting and Alshire are very similar. They're both okay. They're both okay, and they're both 1-year, $5 million deals. I would be okay to give them both another 1-year, $5 million.
Me too. I feel comfortable with that.
Anything more than that, no. Anything less, no. Anything less, they wouldn't take. Because yeah, if they'll take less, I guess I'll give them less. But I don't think they'll take less.
One thing that we need to address, not address, but maybe it's time to do a switch over because it has been his best year. But maybe we let Autry walk, and then now it's time to see what Caleb Murphy has.
I'm sure we will let him walk because he's 32, I believe. He'll be 33.
And
he's still playing. He's still playing well. I mean, he only plays a little over 50% of the snaps. He's old, so he usually only plays about 55 to 62% of the snaps. But I think he had another sack today.
He did, but it was a coverage sack. But
it was a coverage sack. Let me see if I can see what his stats are because he might be up to 6 or 7 sacks already this year. Yeah, he's up to 6 sacks on the year. So if he keeps this pace up, he'll hit 10 double digits. And that's only playing slightly over 50% of the snaps. But yeah, he probably needs to go if he wants to come back for 2 years or $2 million for a 1-year deal. Fine, but
my question is, who would say, yeah, I want to take a discount to play for the Titans? You know what I mean? Well, not like a Super Bowl team because people do that for good teams, not for us. So that's the issue.
And that's another issue I have. I feel like D-Hop. Everybody was questioning him, why did you go to Titans? He's like, I see what they do around here. I see how they're coached. I see how they play. I see this, that, and the other. And he's faced a lot of backlash over the fact that he chose the Titans. And now he comes in, and the team just turns out to be horrible. What if he wants out after this year? Wouldn't blame him if he does. What if he wants out?
If
And
he
what's that
does,
gonna,
then I was even more room is awful.
even worse? And what's that going to do to other big name free agencies or free agents? They'll be like, why would I want to go over there?
Yep.
It's where careers go to die, is what they used to say with our wide receiver selections there.
Sadly, they're not wrong.
Now D-Hop is having a good year, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's still not having much success as a team, at least.
No, but I don't know. Very frustrating.
But I would say, and then I don't know whether you want to get this in free agency or a draft, but we need a safety. Molden's not the guy. He's not. And I know safety is not the most important position, but it can be. It'd be nice to have a ball hawk back there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, Molden gets hurt too much anyway.
Like you said, we have holes back there. Well, honestly, all over the place. Like if we have a lot of cap space, that's exciting, but it's gonna be tough to know where to spend it. You know what I mean? But let me tell you what I'm tired of Titans doing. And we've been decent at it, but you don't win Super Bowls by just doing this. But we like to go to that, finding someone for that's a decent player, and we only pay him $5 million or $4 million, $6 million. That's what we try to do this off the line. If we want to be a good team, go out there and get players. Go out there and get us some actually good players, not just try to find a good discount. Like, oh, this guy's decent, but all we have to do is pay him $5 million. Like, no more of that. Get us some actual star talents here.
That's it. Our quarterback is on a rookie deal. He's making $9 million over the course of his 4-year deal. That's all he's making, which is cheap for a football player. Obviously, I'd love to make $9 million in 4 years, but that's not going to happen. But anyways, so if you're going to pay, this is the time.
Yeah,
this is the time. Pay up for a wide receiver. I still have my eyes on T. Higgins. Pay up for T. Higgins or someone like that. Pay up for a tackle, left or right. Or honestly, if there's a great left tackle and a great right tackle, I'm almost okay with getting them both.
Yeah.
We have $100 million.
Get one and then draft one.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd lean towards is buy one, pick one. That's what I'm leaning towards. But do it. Just do it.
I'm done playing around this off line. 2 years of the off line this bad. It's just hard. It's not fun football to watch. It's hard to watch. And I'm like, go out there and protect our quarterback and running back, please. And so I'm almost like, I don't care. Blank check, fill it out as big as you need to. Get us some help out there. I want a receiver. I want two, honestly. We need to. But I'm still thinking we got to protect this quarterback. And we got to get some holes for whoever our running back is. So offensive line should be our number one priority. Yes, our defense has holes. Yes, our receiver needs help. But offensive line, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, we definitely need some receiver help, but I completely agree with you. Technically, Hopkins can get open.
Yeah.
Kyle Phillips can get open. Honestly, surprisingly, Nick Westbrook-Akina can get open. Oh. He was quiet today. So we can get open-ish, not explosive. Like, as soon as they catch it, they're done. Diop's going to spin a little bit, and then he's going to get tackled. But, like, they're just basically going to get tackled as soon as they catch it. But they can kind of get open if they have time. So that's why I still say O-line is a way bigger issue than our wide receivers.
Yeah.
So, but let's embarrass ourselves. If you're ready to embarrass yourselves, let's talk about our three. Let's talk about our three predictions and see how we did on them. My first one, I said we're breaking the 30-point curse.
You lied.
Well, we did get 6. We're just 24 short, so that's a big X for me.
I said that our defense was going to create 2 turnovers. We got one and got it very early. Made the first drive, I think.
First drive.
And then that was it.
And I said Monty Hooker was going to get a pick. Didn't happen.
I said Josh Riley would get his first touchdown from a quarterback, and that did not happen. I thought that was going to, but it did not.
I said Chig Okonkwo would get a touchdown.
And then I said Kyle Phillips would get 100 yards. He got 60. Right?
He did lead. I think he led the team again 2 weeks in a row now. But yeah,
I guess maybe his one bright side is that he's not good. But the only problem is he likes to get hurt, so that's the problem.
He does.
I mean, he's healthy now, but for how long?
That's an issue. I feel like I think Kyle Phillips and Roger McCreary are the only 2 players that I think actually took a step forward this year.
Yeah. Makes you question our coaching staff maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. If we actually didn't work during the week and we just made like a show every morning or something, which would be fun. That would be the dream life. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. But if we did, we could do a whole show on the whole Mike Vrabel being rumored to be, be a possibility to be traded to the Patriots.
At this point, I'm like, give us a good tackle. He's all yours.
Yeah, about to say, give us any of your O linemen. That's good. But a lot of times they fetch a pretty price, like a first and a second and things like that, like big things. And I hate to say it, but if that was the case, I would.
See ya.
Yeah. Oh, here's the thing though, because if it'd be the Patriots, so they're probably picking top 5. So it's possible we'd get like a top 5 pick for Vrabes.
I think Patriot fans would be mad though. You get a top 5 pick. You think about players and get. You only get a coach that's lost 14 out of his last 16 games.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And here's my thing. Here I feel about Vrabel. I guess we'll talk about it briefly because I think we basically already discussed everything there is about the game. So I'll just briefly discuss it. And here's what my issue is, and it's the same issue I had with John Robinson, where I say, is John Robinson a top 10 GM? No, but I think he's somewhere in like maybe 14 to 11 GM, like borderline top 10. That's kind of how I felt, like good but not great. That's how I feel about Vrabel as a head coach.
It's fun because a lot of people in the league talk like he's a top, definitely 10 coach.
I agree. Because for the longest time we just won games.
Yeah,
that's just what we did, and we don't do that anymore.
It's like we had a Mike Vrabel identity for our team, but it's something about last year and this year we lost it. We don't have that. We talked about this off air. We don't have that toughness to us. We don't have that discipline. That's the two things: tough, discipline, and we suck at both. People smack us in the mouth, not the other way around.
I wonder what it is, because literally 9-7 in 2018, 9-7 all the way to the AFC Championship in 2019, 11-5 in 2020, 12-5 with the number 1 seed in 2021, and then in 2022 we started off 7-3. It was good because I can remember when it was week 2 of that season. It was the Bills versus Titans, and the announcer was like, an AFC powerhouse matchup. I would love to be considered to be an AFC powerhouse.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it would be nice if we ended up getting spanked that night. Dropped the season 0-2. But anyways, so all the way up until 7-3 last year, we were still just under Vrabel. We just won games. That's just what we did. It didn't make sense a lot of times. It wasn't pretty a lot of times, but we just won football games. And that's why Vrabel was such a respected head coach. But so basically at this point, for about a calendar year, we just lose. We just lose.
The thing about it is, you could say, oh, you don't have talent. I feel like he's went that 12-5 year without talent because we were so banged up. So I'm like, I don't know. Talent is the thing. Like, he's won games without talent.
I agree.
I want to get rid of him. I originally thought that because what I really want is an offensive coordinator head coach. I've told you that 100 times. That's what I want, an offensive mind head coach. The problem is I don't want to jump the gun in the sense that you could always do worse than Mike Vrabel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could always get a coach that's worse than him. That's scary. And also, you don't want to be over dramatic because, like you said, last year in week 2, we was considered a powerhouse team. That was week 2 of just last year. Now we're just only halfway done this year. And in that little bit of time, now all of a sudden, I'm like, are you a good head coach? Like, if you asked me last year at the beginning of it, I would say he's a top 6-7 coach, maybe even top 5. And now all of a sudden, like, get him out of here. And I just don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, part of me say I'm jumping the gun. Part of me says I'm jumping the gun. But another part of me says, again, for the last calendar year, all we do is lose. Literally 7 straight losses to end the season last year. 7 straight. And now we're 3-6 into this year. Which means
the last 16 games, we've won 3 of them.
3. We'd be like, if this was one of the 16-game seasons, we'd be a 3-13 team. Yep. And I'm just like, sometimes I feel like coaches get too much blame for wins and losses, but at the same time, at this point, I think we had a 40% turnover with our roster from last year to this year. So it's like 2 different rosters at this point, and we're getting the same results, which is just a whole bunch of L's. Yeah. And I don't want to be dramatic, but I just want to win some football games. Like, is that too much to ask for?
Since we started doing this together, buddy, we've won 3 games.
3. Yep. We started doing this in the middle of last season's
when we started losing
0-7 to end the season stretch. And it's just frustrating. It just is, because I feel, again, like we said earlier, it's like we're getting more holes instead of less holes to fill. And then we get to a point where we're like questioning our whole coaching staff.
There's not much bright side right now. hopefully could fix things fast. But that's another thing. They always say good head coaches and good GMs, and I don't know if we have that yet. Not saying he's bad, but we don't know yet. But they can fix stuff fast. A sign of a bad coach and bad GMs, you can just be bad forever, and you be and rebuild forever. You're like, okay, you guys sucked for a long time. If Vrabel's a good head coach, and if Carl Sagan's a good GM, he should be able to fix this fast. But I got spoiled, I guess, with us being good because I'm not ready to go back to 2-14, 3-13 like we was with Marcus Mariota.
I just feel like these teams are better than those teams.
Yeah, I do too. Completely.
We didn't have a
decent
DeAndre
Sankey out there. Or
No.
Tony Andrews and.
I agree. Like, I'm just thinking about some of the players that we have. Like, and back then I was blind. I'd be like, oh, I think Justin Hunter could actually finally put things together this year. And I'm like, really, Justin Hunter? But that's what I was telling myself back then. But like, I'm looking now of the players we have, and I'm just thinking, we should be better than we are, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, do I think we should be elite? No. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be like, what are we, 3-6? Why can't we be like 4-5 or 5-4, somewhere in there? Like, and again, this loss is worse because I know you're higher on them than I am. But the Bucs aren't a good team, and they beat us by 14 points. It's not like we just barely lost to a bad team. They pretty comfortably handled us.
Yeah. They was never nervous. They was never nervous in that game. Once they did that screen that took it out, 7-3, it was all, like, I feel like they took that lead and like, yeah, we're not. Actually, didn't I say something dramatic? Okay, I would say this for all the people listening. I said something dramatic, and it was kind of true, though. I'm like, I feel like, and I said at the drive they scored. I'm like, if they scored a touchdown this drive and go up 7-3, I feel like that's the game because offensively, we're not scoring any more points hardly. And guess what? We end up being 6, but that's still not 7. So I would have been correct if I said that.
So technically, yeah, if they had never scored another point,
we would have lost.
It still would have been the game. Yeah, because I laughed at you. Which it is kind of a stupid thing to say in the second quarter to be like, they're up 7-3. This game's over.
But that is how bad our offense is.
Yeah. But here's the thing: shouldn't be.
No.
Like I said, Will Levis was 28 points his first game. He was 16, but had 2 drives that we had to kick. One, we had to kick a field goal because it was already halftime, and 2, we had to take a shot because there's only 11 seconds left of the game.
One thing I would say is, again, we've said this 100 times, our offense is completely different in homes and ways. Just completely different. Every time we score 28 points or something close, they've all been Nashville games.
Yep.
And I'm glad.
We've had 3 Nashville games. You ready? Which is ridiculous that we're this late in the season. We've played Nashville 3 times.
That's because we had a home game in London.
Yeah. I remember Vrabel actually complaining about saying the NFL didn't do the Titans any favors with this traveling schedule this year, which is correct. Think about it. 9 games in, we've played 3 games in Nashville. But anyway, and next week we're not in Nashville either. I keep saying that, so I kind of need to verify that.
You say what you're going to say. I'm going to look it up.
Okay. But in our 3 home games, when we had 3 home games, we've scored 27, 27, 28.
Wow, that is good.
Yeah. Now, one of them took overtime to get to 27, but still 27 against the Chargers in overtime, 27 against the Bengals, 28 against the Falcons. And we haven't scored more than 16 away from Nashville.
Let's see. The Titans, yes, is on the road.
That's ridiculous.
It is. We all home against the Panthers, but if there's a game that we could win on the road, it would be that one.
Yeah. Short travel as well.
Real quick. Now, this is a month away, literally a month away. The Dolphins game. It's a Monday night game, and I'll be at work, and I was going to be very sad that I might miss that. I think that'd be the game to miss. We might be 70-0 in that game, or whatever.
That would be just our luck.
Yeah. That's going to be hard to do a recap. I could do a preview of it, but it'd be hard to do a recap. You might have to do it alone.
Yeah, I might have to recap alone. Or I just ignore it and just, like I do all the problems in my life, I just ignore it and expect that it'll go away after a while.
Anything else you want to say?
I was gonna say we're rambling at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I'm very good at coming up with like a silver lining.
Yes.
Being positive. But to me, at this game, there was no silver lining, unless you wanted to say the defense was fine. Like, it was,
So, let me try this. I feel like we allowed 20
Take
points.
2.
I feel like we allowed 20 points, but basically when they needed to make first downs, they would make it. When they needed to touchdown, that's the problem.
And let's also be honest, they quit trying at some point.
Yeah.
Like they at some point they're like, all right, we're just gonna run first, second down for sure. Maybe we'll try to throw it on third to pick up the sticks, but it just.
But I want to say silver lining, and this is a sad silver lining because he can't stay healthy. But Kyle Phillips looked good 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Kyle Phillips, our fifth round rookie, our fifth round second year player. It's looking like he might be a decent role player.
There's that silver lining, folks. All right.
So I guess that's all we got. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I got tongue tied. I'm just done with it. But spoiler alert, I'm going to pick the Jags to beat us next week, even though they only scored 3 points. But yeah, so I guess we'll see you on Friday night / Saturday morning once we preview the Jags and Titans slaughter. So Titan Bros are signing out, and we'll see you later.